That gets us up back to the point key. Now the point key will do a best fit point. So if I take a bunch of points here, it gives me the average of those 6 points. Okay? The best position out of the 6. Now, that's not very valuable to me, but what is valuable is the ability of finding midpoints. How do I find a midpoint? I press the point key, I enter 1 point at the start of the slot, and another point at the second position of the slot. I tell it I'm finished, and because it does the average, and I only took 2 points, it'll do the actual midpoint between those two positions. So now, that Y position, 15000, is actually the center of that slot. Okay. If I wanted to make that 0, I could just remain in point 13 and 0 my Y-axis. Now I have a 0 position. Now if you want, if I move down the readout, I'll move right to 0 on the display, and then if you look at the screen, you'll see I'm right actually at the center of the line. Whoops, there we go. Center of the slot right there. So the machine automatically calculated that center for you. That's the value of the point key. That and constructing intersection points. Now, from the start, I've been entering all my points manually using the crosshair. This machine does have a probe, an edge detection probe on the inside. Most comparators you'll see have an arm that swing down. All Dorsey comparators include a built-in fiber optic bundle built in, looking at the mirror inside of the machine. What does that do for you? It maintains stability. We know that arm's not moving around. And it also gives me the ability to toggle from edge and the crosshair without losing my center position. So how do I use the edge key? First thing I want to do is turn it on. You'll notice that my icon changes. So from crosshair to edge. And it gives me a little starburst telling me that it's going to automatically enter any points. So if I come up to an edge here, you'll see it starts beeping when it sees a dark. So right now it's beeping, it's not quite on the edge. So we need to calibrate that. So how do we do that? We basically got to teach it the light and dark shadow. How do you teach the light and dark shadow? You press the teach key. It asks you to move the edge detector into the dark. Press enter. Move the edge detection into the light. Press enter. You'll notice that the key stays on, and now as I pass over that edge, if you watch the screen, it's going to beep that edge. And you can probably hear the beep. It's going to be an audible beep for you. Now the machine will record the edge, so if I wanted to zero out of that edge, it doesn't read at all. You notice I'm moving the axis, but the machine's not reading until I physically pass the next edge. Now it gives me the distance of 3771. The nice thing about it is you calculate very nice repeatability. Now let's say I zeroed out on this edge. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to pass the edge. I'm going to tell it to make that 0. So watch that Y-axis. You'll see the repeatability right on 0 all the time. So now when I do the thickness, counts that as 0. We come to our next position. It marks the edge, 3754, and you watch the repeatability. It doesn't change at all. The idea behind the edge detection is going to give you repeatability and accuracy with your operators. So the next thing I'm going to do is when it marks some positions using the edge tool. So we did this radius earlier. Okay? So now if I wanted to calculate this radius, I get the edge tool turned on. I can turn the circle mode on. It's in the automatic enter mode. So if I go over the edge, the machine counts down the point. Come over to the other side. So now, what you can do is you can just pass over this edge without having to stop and line up the crosshairs, because the machine's going to automatically enter that point every time. So I just took 16 points around that arc. When I press finish, it gives me my diameter, more importantly my radius, 0.866. And if we view it, there's the arc I created, and the diameter is that, and radius that was created from those arc points. Now the edge tool is nice just because if you have it in a circle mode, if you press circles twice or any one of these twice, it gets you in a plural mode and just let you measure circles all day long or lines all day long without giving the output till the end. So let's say I wanted to do a couple of quick diameters here. I hit my circles, it's on. I can just come over and take my positions around the diameter. So as long as I pass over that light and dark shadow, it's going to calculate that edge for me. So I finish, and it jumps you right back into the circle mode. It stores my data as 0.15, but it jumps you back into the circle. So I can come over here, cancel that, and then enter my points around the next diameter. So as you can see, I can measure these diameters very quickly, and I'd be very repeatable with my operators. So I've done my 2 circles in this case. I hit quit, and now I have circle 16, which I just measured, and circle 15, the one above it, which is 750 thou. So the idea behind edge is it gives you a very fast input and also a repeatable position, so your repeatability between your operators is going to be very, very, very high. Now, this machine also has a rotary encoder built inside, so if we want to calculate an angle, but we didn't want to use the angle key, I'm up to my top here, I focus into my angle. So, you'll notice as I rotate my screen, you'll see my Q axis is my rotary axis. It actually rotates as well. So wherever I zero out these lines, so if I want to measure this easy angle here, let's turn that probe off. So if I come up to my top leg of my angle and zero out my readout, and I rotate that line to the next position, line it up to my next edge, and what does it read? It reads 89 degrees, 53 minutes, 47 seconds. We also have a vernier on the screen, which we can read off. But again, the nice thing about the angle, it gives you very accurate degrees, minutes, seconds on the screen. It also has the ability to do an incremental and absolute angle. That's the digital readout in a nutshell. If you want individual data, you can go online and check each individual key is also measured for you if you wanted some more deep knowledge about how those functions work.